Check 1, 2. Hey, this is Benedict Howard, and this is the eBodyFUSION Hangout for today, Saturday the 6th, and welcome. Having a little embed problems on the site, so that can't be viewed there, but there's a link there when you get to it. But if you're watching the replay, no problem on that front. Okay, just a few tips. I'm going to cover a lot of great stuff today, and I'm really excited to be here with you. And if you're watching the replay, I want you to look up on this corner here, and you'll see a little eye sign, and I've indicated that, and that's going to have direct links to the subject matter that I've got in here. And also, if you're looking at this on YouTube, go into the About section underneath there, and what you'll see is actually links to timestamp links to all of the different topics in the Hangout today. So this is really, really cool. I'm going to switch to my display here, and just give me a moment. Okay, this should be coming through, and let me just check that it is. Cool. And let's see. So really, my motto for the year, and I hope this is yours too, is to make 2016 the year to get really healthy. And I've got some really interesting topics to discuss with you and to show you some new stuff, brand new stuff too. So be sure to watch this all the way through to the end, because I've put together a really good presentation for you this month. And of course, we've got the continuing 7 healing secrets of electricity, and today we're going to be looking at the pathogen killing aspects of that. And so here's a brief summary of what we're going to be covering today. Also, I've got together some interesting stuff on using electricity with plants, and so that's pretty awesome, and I'll be talking about that more later. But if you've got like any sort of pain, any sort of itis, or you name it, we're going to be covering that too, and this is really for you in order to really get you beyond the crutches of the pain and get you really vibrant and alive, and to really make 2016 the year for you to get super, super healthy. And in the consequence, you're going to be like a bunch of the happy crowd out there. So what we'll be talking about is about the effect of the electricity on the body, and also with plants too. And in so doing, I want to just join together how all living systems are really powered by electricity and its magical properties. And it certainly is. And so if you have like any sort of pain and anything that's going on with you, we can really address that really, really well. So that's what we've been doing, and that's what I want to bring to the table for you today, that opportunity. And so let's see. I've got somebody in here in the chat room, and so that's really great. How effective is the scanner on pulmonary fibrosis? Hey, we're going to be looking at some of those topics here today, later on. And also, just if you're on live, there will be a replay, so be sure to refresh this page and you'll get the link to the other topics there. So back to the subject matter here. So also, what I'm going to be covering today is the series of, this is the result that people are getting. Over 2.5, I made a mistake last month, 2.5 million units have been sold by the company DENAS. I have no idea of written. I don't think they've been nearly so successful. And that's because they make the best products, and cost effectively too. So, I've worked with people for decades now with this technology. And prior to that, I was a development engineer for General Electric. So I was really good at looking at systems and analyzing them and bringing them to new perspectives and to new performance. And that's what I brought to the world of microcurrent as well. And so when you've got like all of this low energy, if you have like low energy, if you have like pain, if you have like, this is a very, very quick way of getting rid of it now, or getting the energy back and getting rid of the pain. And also it's a really powerful way of actually curing the underlying causes of pain. And in last month's Hangout, we looked at that, and a little bit, we talked about neuropeptides and those mixes. And in previous Hangouts, monthly Hangouts, also I've done that as well. But basically, the reason why I got involved, and so should you, is that because in the 1980s, the scanner, which is the acronym for the original devices, achieved an 88.50% cure rates across all disease groups in an 18,255 people clinical study. And so it's a phenomenally good way of getting results for people and bringing you back in, no matter what age you are, if you're a tiny little baby or if you're an old man like me. Well, I'm not really that old, but I've got like super fit this month. I have blown away what I've been able to get out of this new product, the VERTEBRA, which I'll talk more about later, because it makes life so much easier than working with little handheld devices. So also today I want to talk about diseases of the circulatory system, and so we're going to go into that in more details later, and we're going to be looking at specifically the disease groups that were looked at or investigated and got amazing cure rates in the clinical studies. So this is going to be available to you later on in the Hangout. But first off, to get these results, you are really going to need to embrace a lifestyle change. And that's why I do the coaching with people, because I found that people kind of go like, oh, well, I've got this knee pain, and they're not really addressing, well, they're getting the knee pain solved. That's tremendous. But there are so many other uses that these the microcurrent electricity can be used for in your body, and just by the simple application techniques. But like with any of this, it's really about really getting, motivated and doing the exercise and eating the right foods and doing all of that good stuff. So before I get into the whole essence behind this, I really want to, this is something you can do without scanner, and it's really get good foods, non-GMO. And you're going to look for any foods that you eat should have that non-GMO label on it, certified non-GMO. Now, all of the organic, so-called organic foods, most of those companies, if not all of the main companies, have been bought out by Monsanto. So although they say organic on it, you can bet they've got the glycophosates and other stuff in there too, and the GMO stuff in there too, even though they're saying organic. Because guess what? Our crooked government, and crooked they surely are, and that's talking nicely about them, have allowed these jerks to be able to call organic anything that's like living is organic, as far as I'm concerned now in the definition of it. So it's really undermined all of our food chain, and this is huge for us. It's made a huge difference to the protocols, in application protocols in the last decade that I've been working with these devices and training people. And also, you're going to need to do the exercise. And, personally, I love running. And, well, actually, I should say I love running, but it's not been available. When I was very young, in the 14, 15, block wall fell on my head, and it compromised my neck, crushed my neck, and I had like major back pain for many decades, major back pain for many decades, and I knew I didn't want to go under the knife, and it was because of that I got asthma, and so even though I was a runner as a kid, I couldn't really do it anymore. It was like I couldn't run anymore because I couldn't breathe. And then the Ventolins and the inhalers came out when I was about 20, and that changed my life. But I still didn't run, and my body was like pretty acidic and blah, 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 blah. Now, rolling forwards, I'm now 64. This month in particular, I have upped my ante with running, and I've gone from a very slow jog for a few miles to a more, it's not a fast pace, but it's sort of 10-minute miles, something like that. So it's really allowed me to get more energy into my system because of using this new equipment that I've been talking about in the previous Hangouts, and the VERTEBRA. So really it's about getting you off the medical treadmill, and or in this case, the hamster wheel, and really moving on, because they're just like sucking you dry. This medical system is sucking you dry. And quite frankly, the scanner or this microcurrent technology is the most advanced, powerful way of doing anything. I mean, I've worked with all sorts of devices, and this is way more powerful because it's really delivering to the body the ultimate source of energy to the body, so that way it can really move on fast really quickly. Now, in order to do that, this is a beautiful shot I took on Christmas Day, I think it was, over on Mauna Kea. I live on the Big Island. And in order to do that, you've got to get yourself motivated. And I'm going to go through a couple of assessments later on. On the site, I have this free offer that you can get my personal assessment on whether this will work for you. So do grab that. And because one of the questions I ask is, how motivated are you? And so motivation is a huge thing. And if you're at that crossroads in life, this is about you choosing the higher path and going with that. And in this case, it's going up the mountain there to 13,600 feet. And it's so beautiful up there. It's unbelievable. And so it's like to really get that motivation in place, and then, like anything, is about repetition. And kind of like this hang glider here, not a hang glider, but he was a, what do you call him? Anyway, he's got a sail up there and he's going along the water. Can't remember the name for the moment, on Hilo Bay there last summer. The winds came up one day and it was just really, really blowing. And these guys came out and started zipping up and down the bay there, super fast. And you can bet that it took them a while to get up there. And so it's kind of like that with you. You've got to stay motivated, and you've got to stay in a place of repeating what it is that you're doing to make changes. And of course, those need to be the diet, and those need to be the exercise. And I'm sorry, guys, if this isn't for you, but really, bottom line, this is what it takes to get off the hamster wheel there. So it's by repeated application. So get the diet right, non-GMO certified foods, not just organic, because they're not certified organic. It's not certified organic anymore. So guys, wake up and inform your people in the health food stores who are conveniently not trained to tell you that, and get real with this stuff. These guys are out to kill every one of us. And if you don't know that by now, what rock have you been sleeping under? Now, on a cyclic nature with this repetition, I use the full moon as my main guidance. And this morning when I was doing my 5 a.m. yoga, there was a little sickle of a moon that was just beginning to rise in the dawn sky, and it looked so beautiful. And this again was that full moon, that Christmas full moon over Mauna Kea. And, so it's like repeat these cycles, keep them going week in or day in, day out, week in, week out, and month long too. And I'm going to use the same slide as I used last time. There's me on the right there, and my friend Kim and my partner Lindy holding up the yellow ball there. Kim has been a great friend of mine for the last, since I got here the second time around. So it's 2003 or roughly. So the last 10, 12 years, 13 years, time flies. And he has managed to build a golf course. And he's been slowly building that and getting the equipment together to do that. And he has done it by repeated work on that golf course over the years, and has led to his success. And I go there and play, and oh my God, last weekend I got 2 pars and I got 1 under par. I was like really right on last weekend. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact that I've been really balancing my body electrically with the VERTEBRA, which I'll tell you more about. So it's really about getting, really healthy this year and making changes in your lifestyle to embrace this technology, because it's not just that you've got whatever it is that's going on there. It really is about changing your whole attitude and getting really real on who you are and what you want out of the future. If you're stuck in the past and if you're stuck in the pain, then probably this isn't the tool for you. You've got to get to a place where you feel confident about working with me, and that I'm the go-to guy to do this with, and that way we can bring you to new levels of wellness. Now, I am just going to do a little deprogramming here, because Mike Adams, and if you don't know Mike Adams' work on Natural News, he wrote this book around the illusion of disease, and it's a long book, and I keep on bringing this up every month because really it is about getting off the medical words of I got pulmonary thrombosis, for instance. That question came up in the chat just now. So now you're labeled and you're reinforcing the disease, and you're reinforcing your relationship with the doctor because you're getting the medications for this, for whatever it is you got, say pulmonary disease. It's like, hey guys, wake up. It's time to get off this medical treadmill. It's time to get yourselves real, get your heads out from underneath the rocks and get on with your life. And I can't say that, I can't emphasize that enough. It's like huge what's happening now. The murders when they brought in the mercenaries from France to kill that guy in the guy up in Oregon last week. This is just so absurd what's happening. And if we don't take back our power, our sovereignty, especially our medical sovereignty, and you can do that easily with these devices, guys. It's so easy. It's a no-brainer. And even if it's the last dollar that you've got, invest it in your future this way. You don't need to buy it from me. I'm just telling you that this is amazing work that the Russians have done. And no kidding, they didn't just get this 88.50% cure rate out of nothing. They did it because they worked hard on it. And I'm going to show you some of that in a bit. So here is a testimony from one lady who's been in the training last month. And she, during the training, was pushing herself pretty hard. And I'd asked her to, but anyway, she had quite a shocking time. She went into a pre-heart attack and had a heart attack just as she'd finished the first week of training. She went back into hospital and etc., etc. So it's like we got to be really gentle with ourselves, our bodies. They've become super stressed, and that's why I moved here back in the 90s to Hawaii to get away from all of that. Even though it's exceedingly difficult to make a living here in Hawaii, everything costs a whole bunch, and there's cheap land and stuff like that. But it's kind of remote, and it doesn't work for everybody. I mean, it's a wonderful place to visit, and actually this summer I'm thinking of holding some workshops. It'll be like I'm not sure, but it'll be several-day workshops to work with people one-on-one, because I have like an amazing property here that we have. We can do yoga, we can go to the ocean, we can go on a hike, we can go and do all of the beautiful things, and we can get regular, work with this technology and the sound technology that I've really manifested very, very successfully from back in the 80s. And that stuff is absolutely amazing sacred geometry sound environments that I've created. So, the life given to us by nature is short, but the memory of life well spent is eternal. So this is huge, guys. If you're living in pain, somehow you got to get yourself motivated to move on from that and get out of this bullshit that's happening to you. And it really is bullshit. There's no reason for you to have these diseases, and there's no reason for you to be linked into these diseases. And grab this book. It's this amazing little read, because it's about how to create perfect health by freeing yourself from false beliefs about disease. And in this book, I mean, he details, and he's brilliant, this guy. And if you don't know about his latest work with analyzing different foods, grab that site. Go to Mike Adams' site, Natural News, and he's been analyzing all of these so-called superfoods, all of this other stuff, and he's been finding huge amounts of mercury, of aluminum, and different toxins, heavy metals in these so-called pure foods. So beware of some of these suppliers, because they're all in with this dreadmill, what do you call it? Calm. And calm isn't strong enough. And but nonetheless, we can get to a stage, and people have done got out of major bedridden diseases with me, and got them back healthy, got them back in the family units, and they're happy people again. And so that's been the joy that's been coming to me because of that. So, you know, so let me tell you, would you like to know how to manage electricity? Manage your pain with electricity, because that's really what the bottom line of this thing, this talk today is about. And so, enough about you. Let's just give you some information now. And so you can literally solve the underlying causes of your pain. And if you looked at my last month's recording, and I suggest you'd go back and do that. And by the way, if you get it when at the top right hand of the screen there, you can get links to all of these stuff. And so get my assessment. It's a free assessment. You can get it on my website. And if you would like to know if this can work for you. So, having got over my rant there, let's get into some really powerful information here. Now, I want to tie together that all living systems are deeply affected by electricity. And the fact is that basically the cells in plants and cells in humans work very similarly. Kind of like the hemoglobin has the iron molecule in it, and the chlorophyll has, what is it, magnesium? I hope I'm right on that, instead of the iron. And but other than that, they're the same molecule. Yay, da-da. And so they're affected by the light and other substances, especially electricity. Now, unfortunately for us, the indoctrinations has been perpetrated by these Khazarian mafias who rule the world behind the scenes and are the main puppeteers that are orchestrating all of these false flags, like the frigging Zigger one, and it just goes on and on. Is it Zita or Zigger? And it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on until they are finally stopped. However, and they're telling us that we don't have enough food, we've got overpopulation on the planet. It's total bullshit. And it's just fear-mongering. And so if you're watching the TV and you're watching the election bullshit that's on the American television at the moment, switch the frigging stuff off and get real and start investigating things that are going to make differences in your life than expecting a system that is completely corrupted with satanic rituals beyond belief, that are completely corrupted, and expecting to vote for the frigging system that's going to deliver exactly the same results that didn't work, because it's all been rigged for hundreds of years by, guess what? I was born in England, and it's the Queen of England. It's the Vatican. And it's all the frigging lawyers in America who are perpetrating this whole stuff on us, the people, the sovereign people. And so they've got like this little thing. Every lawyer is a foreign agent, and he is registered. They are registered through a communist organization, through Chicago, where they have like a little piece of land there that was seized by the British earlier on, and they report directly to the Queen of England. And so guess what? They have no interests in you as people, none whatsoever. The whole thing is rigged, not because the statutes and, well, some of the original statutes and the Constitution went right on. It's because of 1913 when they did, then when was the other day? 1882, and then 1933, and all of these dates that they took major changes, completely unconstitutional changes, and when everybody was asleep in the middle of the night, they passed them through Congress. And that's the way it's been going, and it's been going like that for hundreds of years. And look at the whole thing in Turkey, and then look at Syria. I mean, it's like, guys, get real. This thing is real. Look at what the Russians have been doing, and they've been helping out and helping out. Meantime, the Western press is demonizing Putin. Well, I'm not going to use the vernacular there, but I'd love to. So let's go back to this electrical fertilizer concept here. On the left, these plants have a little battery and electrodes, actually nails, that are put in there. See? And on the right, they're without, and these are germinating seeds. Now, why I came across this years ago. Actually, it wasn't this technology. Well, it alluded to it, but it wasn't actually this. It was even more deeper, interesting than that. And I'll get to that in a moment. Now, over here on this slide, we have another example where it's using a photovoltaic a solar cell, tiny little solar cell, that's charging up this plant over here. You see how much bigger than it is than all of these? So this is the plant that's been getting the electricity. Look at the size of it compared to the other ones. Now, this has been proven time and time again. So if you have a little garden, just take a AA battery or 9-volt battery and put 2 electrodes on it and put it in the soil around the plants. And it does magical things. Now, of course, some work has been done in the universities, or rather, let's say, some work has been allowed to be done in some universities around this. And because guess who controls it? Those major Khazarian mafia. And if you don't know what I mean by Khazarian mafia, I suggest you go look it up on the internet and educate yourself. Something that's been around since Babylonian times. And it's the same old cruel maggots that are out there that just like think that we are just their slaves, and they have enslaved us completely in this medical system, in this legal system, in this tax system, in this endless wars. America, out of its 200 and whatever years, I think it's like 12 years that it hasn't been at war. 12 years out of 200. And what was, you know this stuff. You just need to be reminded. So why I'm bringing up this plant stuff and the effects on plants, I mean, was one study I was reading yesterday, and it was like a Korean study. And in it, they were talking about, on trees. They were putting a nail in the bottom of the tree and a nail up the top of the tree, and wire, and then a battery between it. And they got like 300% more growth on those top branches compared to neighboring trees. And that was over in the state of like a year or something. Hugely effective. And so guess what? In my 7 healing secrets of electricity, and I'm going to talk about one of these topics each month. And topic 1 or 2 this month is the pathogen killing. Now, in those studies that they were doing in Korea on the plants, they found that the bacteria levels in the plants in the soil changed as well. And I tell you, from the work that we've been doing, and others too, but especially what I've been putting together, is that we found the frequencies that really knock out the pathogens. And so that is a really powerful way. Now, pathogen is the word pathos, which is pain. And it's a Greek word, and pain generating. So all of these pathogens, those microbes in our body, are, at least the bad ones, are pathogen, they're pain generating. And so we can numb out with electricity, but that's only part of the problem. I mean, yeah, it's great not to have the pain, but really the long-term solution is about killing the pathogens, going to an alkaline diet. Did I mention alkaline earlier? Yeah, but I didn't actually say it. and then, so that's with raw foods mainly, or you can do it with water as well. And then you'll be able to kill off and create an environment in the body whereby whatever's going on, and it could be whatever, I mean, literally whatever, it's all the same guys. This technique is so interesting because it's not a divide and conquer technique, which is the medical system. You divide it all up, all of the expertise is into, ear, nose, and throat, and gynecological, and whatever. And so nobody talks to the other people in the other fields. And of course, and everybody thinks that their field is special. And, you know the game. I think you're beginning to recognize it now. You know the game that these guys have been playing. Because they're playing to the people's egos, or the doctor's egos that they're training. But hey, the doctor only gets 5 hours of nutritional training out of 7 years. What's wrong with that picture, folks? Well, it tells you something. Why wouldn't a system that's designed or should be designed under a Hippocratic oath to help people and to make them better not have any nutrition? Nutrition is number one in getting healthy. And I'm not talking about McDonald's and fast food or meats or any of the stuff that's out there and the poison foods. I'm talking about good nutrition, and you got to really hunt around to find it. And you're going to pay an extra dollar. You're going to pay a premium in order to consume it. If you don't, the effects are with GMO that they rot the stomach out, that they create infertility in the first and second generations. And it goes on and on and on. And then, of course, because the system cannot consume the food, these foreign molecules, which are these GMO molecules, then our life forms have never had to consume them before. Then they're completely alien. So in this pathogen killing stuff, that's one of the hidden secrets, as it were, the healing secrets of electricity. And if you listen to my talk last month, I talk a lot about Chris here. And this, if I didn't have it on video, I probably wouldn't, and shots of it, I probably wouldn't be talking to you about it because it is so unbelievable. Now, this was a third-degree burn Chris got. I was actually witness to this whole occurrence, and immediately we started to work with electricity on this. We had the pain turned off in 45, 50 minutes, and we never used any disinfectants. We never dressed the wounds. We just allowed the whole body's pharmacopoeia to deal with whatever the pathogens that might be airborne in contact with his skin. There were no infections on any of these nasty burns. They were third-degree burns. No infections. He had no pain during the whole healing time, which only took 12 days. See, this is what I'm talking about. Implants, get it? See how much bigger these guys are? In whatever this has taken to germinate, say 10 days or something. And it's the same with the humans. It's the same with us too. We heal and we grow much quicker with extra electricity. That's why electricity really picks you up. If you've got low energy and you're couch-ridden and you don't have enough brain power to do your job because you're low energy, this is a super quick way of getting that energy back. And because of the pathogen killing capacity of this technology, you can deal with all of the nasty microbes in your system this way, or at least most of them very, very effectively. And now we've worked with Lyme's disease. We've worked with all of the a lot of different groups of people here. And I don't really like to use the medical terms, but hey, there was one of them. And don't think because you got this, which doesn't mean that you can't get the results. Because in those clinical studies, they got an 88.50% cure rate on 18,000 people. Now, that, granted, was back in the 70s. And the world, pollution-wise and GMO-wise, was a completely different world. I've been singing some ukulele songs and some of the old ancient Hawaiian ones, and back from the turn of the last century. And when I sing them, it's like this whole resonance of a world that we don't really know much about anymore. And a simple life. There were no planes, no cars, no trains. Well, trains, yes, but it was a very different world then, and the stress levels were very different. And so that it comes through in the way that they wrote the lyrics to those beautiful Hawaiian hymns, I call them. They're like beautiful melodies. And so now we have like a different situation on the planet. And you need to be educated as to this. Not only it's in every field, in education, in politics, in law, in your religions, so-called religions, in all of the aspects of our society, especially TV. And that's the way they indoctrinate you. So switch the TV off, guys. I haven't had a TV now for probably the mid-80s. I haven't had a TV. And so that's been a real good thing for me, because it's not only the programming, it's also the energy that comes off the TVs themselves, which are designed to create diseases in your body. And so, you know, there was a post that I made on Facebook, and if you haven't connected with me on Facebook, that would probably a good place for you to find out if we're a good fit or not. My Facebook page, Benedict Howard, and on it I post all sorts of stuff around everything that I can find that's to do with what's going on on the planet, and to reveal. I'm very good now at looking at these false flags that are coming up. I know within like hours whether they're real or not. And so get that information from me. And if you feel that, you know, that I might be somebody that you'd like to work with because of the progressive way that I look at these situations and the background I have in the engineering, plus 30 years of developing and working with individuals just like yourselves in pain and other situations as well. You know, I'm the go-to guy on the planet to get the training from. So, you know, remember that. And I can, when we really deliver results. Now, you may have seen this in the last one. I'm just going to briefly mention it here in the January Hangout. You know, it's because of this combination of power and frequency that you get this optimal tissue regeneration. And in that tissue regeneration, what's happening is that you really quickly and speedily cure, I'm going to say that word. The Russians said it was cures. And we'll look at that in a moment in the heart disease stuff, and circulatory disease stuff in a moment. And so it's like they got this down. And you know, when you look at this from an anatomical point of view, you know, these areas on the back, and we're going to switch to why I'm bringing this. This is the main bus that goes into the brain, right? So all of these organs, the eyes and the ears and the lymph and the, you know, and the hands and the neck, they're affected by these positions up here in the spine, and into the heart and the lungs down in here, and the liver and the intestines and the kidneys and the spleen, and etc. down in this area, in this pink area. And then down below we've got kidneys and reproductive organs down in below here. So these are where you can get phenomenal results, because when you've got diseases in the internal organs over here, they're affected by the energy that's available, the electrical energy that's available from the spine. And if you've got low energy, then it's compromised throughout. And you will have also these compromised organs underneath or in front of the spine here. So, you know, this is basically, this is actually one of the, I have a 3-month training for the handheld units, or the high-end handheld units. And in the 3rd month, this is what we're working on. We're just working on the spine and getting things balanced energetically across the spine. I talk more about that in previous Hangouts, so I don't want to go into that in detail here. I really want to get into the topic here. So, you know, let's do the diseases of the circulatory system for a moment. So we've got transient dystonia of the blood vessels. We've got essential hypertension, angina pectoris, acute myocardial infarction, sudden cardiac arrest, acute heart failure, ischemic heart diseases, and cardialgia, NOS, and hemorrhoids. So we're going to look at these cure rates that they got in the clinical studies. Now, let's look at a bit of a definition of what these all are too. Now, the transient dystonia, they had a 90.03% cure rates, and you know, many strokes. And we're going to look at how long they took to do, and et cetera, how many sessions it took, et cetera, of each of these. But just look at these. Essential hypertension, high blood pressure, and 82% cured. Angina pectoris, a medical term for chest pain and discomfort due to clot, 62% cured. And there was a higher percentage that were, well, further people that got tons of relief. We'll look at that in a moment. Acute myocardial infarction, a blood clot, thrombosis that forms inside a coronary. So it's like one of its branches. 71% cure rates. Sudden cardiac arrest, 75% cure rate. Acute heart failure, 97% cure rate. Ischemic heart disease, 2%. Now, this is because of the coronary because the arteries have got blocked. And so it's going to take a little more time, and that's where you really need the diet changes for that, and to get alkaline. So that's why it's only at 2%, which is surprising to me. But when I looked at it, 75% got a significant improvement with this. Now, so that's what I'm saying. You know, earlier, you got to get motivated. You got to do the greens. You got to do the exercise. You got to do, you know, the alkalizing. You've got to keep repeating it. You've got to keep going with this stuff, because it's way more difficult to get past it, to get really healthy than it used to be 20 years, 30 years ago. And for myself, you know, I have become exceedingly sensitive to different foods, and you know, I go in and out of asthma because of it, and because I'm running more. Like yesterday, I did for me a quick, I think it was like 2.5 mile run. Actually, I go up about 300-400 feet and then down 300-400 feet. The advantage of living on the side of a volcano. And it's a great workout for me. So I use that in conjunction with my yoga and other exercise, you know, that I do. And so, you know, looking at these diseases that I want to show you this. So this is, okay, this is just the detail. Now, if we look at this top row, the transient dystonia, 682 patients, 614 were cured, right? And let's see. And yeah, oh, I have another slide with, okay, so we got a 90% cure rate, but a 98% improvement rate. You know, so this is, a lot of this is, okay, it averages out at 93%, right? Now, this 2% one really dropped the average across here. If it hadn't been for that, the ischemic heart disease group, which really dropped the percentage cured total from probably in the high 80s down to 72%, because that knocked off like, oh, huge, like 90. Yeah, it dropped a lot because of that. So in the high 80s would have been this. And if they had done this with the diet stuff that we know about now, you know, Serrapeptase, look at my website on Serrapeptase on one of the blogs. I worked with this for a number of years and got extraordinary results. And it's really, really good at cleaning out routing out the body from pain, from arteries, to a whole bunch of things. And it's made out of the digestive enzymes from the salivary glands of silkworms. And yeah, how did they get to that one? I don't know, but they found that they were in that salivary gland. In order for them to get out of the cocoon, they had to have something that would dissolve very stable, I guess, the silk, and get out. So that's what they used, and it is phenomenal, especially, and actually really only, when you use it in high dosages, up in 1 million units a day. Really, really simple, really, really powerful, really, really a great way to go forward. So all of those people got great results, and they're happy and living, and can hold their grandkids, or if they're young parents, they can have birth and give children and bring them up healthy. And so if this is you, you know, in any of these groups, you know, remember this and take advantage of it. And because you can take care of most of your stuff in the comfort of your living room, and you don't have to get into the bullshit indoctrination of the false priests of the doctors and the medical system. And sorry, guys, this also includes the acupuncturists. It also includes the massage therapists. It also includes the chiropractors, because they've all been indoctrinated through the same system that is money-based, not people-based. And that's the major gripe there. So this is the result that we want, and I want for you too. So, you know, consider this and really embrace it. And I'm going to tell you about a special offer I have for you to get you started. So, you know, if you're one of these people also that has got like these back pain issues, and like I was saying, that all of these issues are addressed through the back, But if you have like major back problems, or you've got like pain, whatever, if you've got like somebody that's got scoliosis, like on this X-ray on the left here that I put up, you know, all of these guys got it straightened out. They got the hip straightened out, everything straightened out. And the simplest, fastest way to do it is with this vertebra. Now, when you buy it from me, you get this vertebra study group included. And this thing, you lie on it. I don't show you me lying on it, but you lie on it, and the neck is up in this region, and your coccyx, your pelvis is down in this region. So what this does, it sends, these are electrodes all up and down here. So what it does, it sends tingles into all of the spine automatically. You don't have to do the complicated Ninja 3, which is the 3rd month of training with the handheld devices anymore. You can just get this, and this will do it. And it has different programs on it. Program B here, which is a 23-minute program. Program C, which is a 26-minute. Program D, a 10-minute. So this, what happens is the little electrical tingles go up and down the center electrode, and then down on the sides, etc., and then out to the sides over those programs, stimulating all of these areas down the back, all of these areas along the spine, let's just put that back, along the spine there, and also into the ribs and support, into pelvis, into the hip joint. My hip joint's loosened up, and this thing is the way that I've got myself back into running regularly. And I am blown away by how effective it's been, and it's so dirt simple to use. I used it last night. I had a long day setting this talk up, and actually had a number of website stuff, and I'm sorry that I couldn't get the video to play up there today. Well, maybe it is now. I'm going to just go check and see what people are saying over here, and let's see if there's any more questions. Okay, you can probably see this. This is where to, if you were there, to click. Okay. You refresh the page. Cannot get reference, sorry. So that's the, oh, that's assistants, JAs. That's a doctor there. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. My apologies on that. But back to this stuff. You can watch the replay. Back to this stuff. You know, this has really energized my body. Like I had a long day like yesterday, but I did a good run in the midday. It was overcast, so it wasn't really hot, but it was hot enough. Normally, like, I've discovered it's much easier to do it early morning or late afternoon. And this energy that comes off this thing is absolutely incredible. And this is the ultimate microcurrent device on the planet. And if you haven't got one, get one. They're not inexpensive. They're coming in just under $3,000, and but that includes my vertebra study group, and it's just a wonderful way of getting going with the body. If you go to my website, under devices, you'll see vertebra, and then sign in there, and you'll get some videos that I made. Actually, last year, I'd hoped to get them done this last month, but other things came up. But I'll be redoing the vertebra videos and bringing them up to date. And also included in the vertebra, let's show you that quickly right now. Also included in the vertebra is I'm going to show you the training site where I have all of the membership area for this. And so let's get this signed in here, and whilst that's loading up, talk a little bit more. Now, this little handheld unit, I like to use an external battery power on there because it really works better. But if you've got like pain, or if you've got low energy, or if you've got any type of disease situation that's happening in the body, this is the simple way that will take you by the hand, so to speak, and allow you to really embrace a lot higher health than you could ever have imagined prior. So I'm just going to go over here and open that one up, and that way you can just like you know, it's a no-brainer, this device. The other handheld units, like this one, this is the DENAS, and actually this is the special I have on for you today. And it's only for today. It's only for those people that are live on the training here, and then after 24 hours tomorrow evening, I'll be taking it down because this is the handheld unit, but you have to do the work. And because it only has one electrode compared to 48, it only does 1/48 of the work. Now, of course, the foot pad, the massage set, the pad set, the acupuncture probe, and the eye goggles, they all greatly help in the application. So it makes a big difference. But, you know, this device is so great. Now, it has its own controller. You don't plug it into this. This is a completely separate unit. And so with this one, it's really changed how you would use this. This one you'd use most of the time. This one you'd use for maybe the joints in the knee or ankle or whatever, areas, or the chest, or across the abdomen, or in the neck and face. You'd use that for this. But for most problems, because of this application, you're tingling the electricity, you're causing things to grow better, just like they did with the plants here. You know, it brings electricity into there, and it takes care of those underlying issues that are beneath that. And so this really is the simplest way to go. And, you know, okay, it's pricey, but let's take a look at what your poor health is costing you. And it's only going to get worse, guys. And yeah, there's no end in sight for that. I mean, it's not going to be in the next 3 months or 6 months or a year even. You know, the election here in America is going to change around things. You know, these guys are not going to be allowed to get in. This corporate structure is not going to be allowed to get in, back in again. However, there's going to be tremendous changes as as the old way is released. And you know, you're seeing bits of that on the news. Actually, X-Files is kind of like the new X-Files series is revealing some of that stuff too. I said I don't watch television, but I did hear about the X-Files, and I did download the 3 episodes that are broadcast in the new season, season 10, last night, and just briefly looked at them. And they are exposing some of the atrocities that are going on in the medical stuff there, and they are right on. And so, you know, there's a kind of disclosure thing going on there too. So that's really, really great. So let's go back over here, and I'm going to open up the membership area. One moment. Okay, let's go back to this slide. And so, you know, this is, so I plug actually an external power supply into this. I prefer having the external supply, the external power supply. You can put 2 AA batteries in there, but you've got to put really fresh ones in there. So let's have a look. Now we're going to open up this not in the editor. How do we get to this membership area? Sorry, guys, I can't. Here we go. It was probably up there all along. And so this is the inside of the membership area. And what we're doing is I've got like an introductory video, a welcome video, and several videos that I've been working on to really detail what I've been learning from this device and how it works. And things are a little slow because I'm grabbing a lot of the bandwidth with this call here. But we've got, you know, my welcome video, the VERTEBRA setup, which is a long video, actually. It's about 40-50 minutes. And I talk about that. Multi-session orientation. Now, because of the way that the body responds in multiple sessions, there's stuff in there that you really need to know, because this is such a powerful unit. If you don't heed my advice in this, you will end up not succeeding with this. I can guarantee. I almost didn't do it because when I got this device in, it took so much. It was uncomfortable. I didn't feel good. There was a whole bunch of issues in there, but I got those all ironed out over the first month it took me. And you know, frankly, because I knew how this stuff worked, I knew that it was a good idea. I just had to get comfortable with it. And most people that get these devices don't take the training, and it's dumb. You're spending that much money, and for just a few extra dollars, you can get my my training too. And I did an expanded manual. I took the manual and I go through it detail by detail, expanding on what is being explained in there. So that you get like you get an overview of what they're saying. And it's actually a very good manual compared to the ones for the other devices, but it's still lacking there. And then as we go with different hangouts there, we have different, so I give you hangouts there. Oh, I got this spelled wrong. I give different hangouts there that you can join in on during the training time, and then I upload them here. We're just getting going with this training, so it's pretty damn exciting. So you're going to be you're going to be in the study group. You're going to be going to Facebook and working with that too, and so you got like a really powerful opportunity here to oh, I see it. It's not there. Okay, let me just change that. I need to change to another thing. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, guys. I need to get back to this one. How do we do that? You are screen sharing. I'm going to stop it and come back to me. Hi, guys. And let's get back to that. Share that one. Here we go. Okay, sorry about that. So let me start that again. So here we got, where am I? Okay, here we got the welcome video, and talking about how big welcome. I mean, this is a big adventure. You're taking back your medical sovereignty, and it's just awesome to be able to do that in more powerful ways than you can do with any, especially AMA type of stuff, and mostly more powerful than the acupuncture and herbs and other things too. Because electricity, look at it, when we were looking at those plants, that was just electricity that was driving them to that extra growth. And that's what it does. That's a clear example of what it's doing in our bodies. So I've got a long setup video here, and there was a lot to consider in setting this thing up to get it comfortable for everybody's different posture and back curves. And the multi-session orientation I talked about earlier, which is basically over multiple sessions, there are factors that you need to educate yourself about, because things change rapidly in the body, and so does the skin sensitivity. So that's what that is about. I expanded on the manual. I talked about that earlier. I took the manual and I go through the whole manual in about 45 minutes and expand on what they're talking about that. And these are just posting and housekeeping details there. And of course, we've got like the vertebra hangouts that we do, just specific on the vertebra to support you in that. So we got, let's see. Oh yeah, and this client here is using one of the Rhythm Sport for numbing up her pain. I wouldn't advise that for anybody. The DENAS, the simple DENAS is as good as the Sport, and the electrodes are far superior. But another thing I don't like about the Rhythm, you've probably seen my Rhythm rant. Another thing I don't like about the Rhythms is that their electrodes have this thin wire that's like speaker wire. So you know how if you have a headset, how tangled up those wires get, and they have like usually pretty good wires on them. Well, then, and they bend and they curve and stuff like that. Well, the Rhythm, I don't know why they're so damn cheap on this. I've used the cheapest speaker wire imaginable that knots itself out, the kinks, and it's a pain to maintain. So, I'm not a fan of Rhythm, especially after they closed down my websites in 2009, I think it was. Yeah, nasty outfit. So that's been my experience with them. So let's stop sharing that part, and for a moment get back to me. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this, and my website is eBodyFUSION.com, and whatever it is that you've got going for you, this these devices do the work, and I would highly recommend that you go in with, you know, the Vertebra is the no-brainer solution. Let's get back to that screen if I can. Google Hangouts, Vertebra, yeah, this one. And, you know, that's the way to go. Alternatively, you can get one of this, and I've got a cheap, I've decreased, if you get this whole kit, you get a really good deal on a 7-day training for the DENAS, and you also get videos on each one of these and how to use them, each one of the electrodes too. And on top of that, I have a coaching program, and basically it's a wellness coaching program, and that was for 2015. I've changed the page, but I haven't changed the slide. And I'm sorry, this is all skewed and stretched out sideways. But what makes the biggest difference is when you have somebody like me who's, you know, struggled many years, I mean, many decades with major pain, who now has got through it. And so I've got a wealth of experience of healing with this. And so that's what I bring to the table. And, you know, people, corporate executives have been in my program. You know, I've got like different people that are really, really high-end achievers that, you know, are leading a very stressful life in IBM or wherever it is. And they're allowing, and, you know, they need somebody like me to just hold their hand, as it were, and just keep them motivated, keep them in the repetition, you know, cycle through those repetitions. And my coaching programs are 3 months minimum, because it, you know, it takes 3 months, and that way you're going to get the success. And just like Kim did, and all of these other people that have been working with me. These are not actually people that have worked with me, but you know, that's the emotion that I want to elicit in you, that this is totally possible and feasible for you. So, you know, the coaching program, you can, there's a sign up there on my website page, and that really sort of hones it together. You know, this offer that I have, maybe I should show you that. Let me move over to back to Mia going a moment. And there we go. And let's see if I can get to that page. Yeah, I have no idea why I couldn't get the Hangout to work on the Hangout page. I'll work on that later. Sorry about that, guys. I really apologize to you. I hope you saw the link up there and you were able to move from that place to another one. So, which device? Okay, we talked about which device, and there's a little green button down there. Let's put that share up. Yeah, there we go. And you know, there's like this little green button down below, and that way you can get my personal assessment on how this could work for you, or how this will work for you. And let's see, over here I need to go. And which device? Vertebra DENAS. I want to show you that special. Let's see if this is showing. I hope the video works in this one. Yeah, I tried several times to get that video working. I just couldn't today. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, I've got 70% off the training. It's a one-time offer. It's available for you for the next 48 hours till tomorrow, Sunday, and then after that, it's gone. And so if you go to the DENAS page, go to devices, and then click on DENAS. I have the special there, and that's the no-brainer way to go, because it's like really inexpensive, comparatively speaking, to a lot of the other units. The DENAS itself is just a $300 device. So if you just buy that alone without the electrodes, it's just that. Now the Pro Kit, I've got here the Pro Kit and the 7-day training, which is worth $400. I've got it at 950 plus the shipping, and so that's available for you there too. Oh, interesting. I had all of these working. They're not working right now. I have to fix that. If you have problems with this form, which is obviously there is now, I had that fixed last night. That's what I've been spending all week doing, is trying to fix stuff. But anyway, it's off that page, and so go grab it whilst it's still there. And if you have problems with that form, if I haven't got it fixed in the next hour or so, let me know, and email me or fill out one of the assessment pages forms and say, I want to buy the, and I'll send you an invoice and invoice you separately. So cool. That's been the Hangout for here for Saturday, February the 6th. And I've been going over an hour. I try to keep these up to 59 minutes if I can, but we went over a little bit this time. No problem. It's just been so awesome to be able to share this with you, and awesome to bring this technology to you. You know, it's like we have this opportunity on this planet. There are many people with really good minds, and that are really out there to really help people and to make changes in their lives, and to bring new hope to you. And that's what I've been doing for people for 30 years. I've been a coach, I've been a development engineer, I've been like working in the sound healing field and developing sound environments. That started in '87. I worked with sacred geometry exclusively, watching what was happening on people's auras and documenting the different shapes. And that happened in '87, '92, something like that, in those 5-7 years. And then continued with that. And then back in 2002, I discovered the scanner and the microcurrent technology, trained with the Russians, and then started to realize there were big holes in their training, and wondering why there would be. And that's a completely another story to do with these Khazarian mafia, just again. So if you don't know what they are, go look them up. Khar, Khazarian, Zarian. There's been a very dark history for those guys. And they've, the Rockefellers and all of those guys, they're all the head guys in those organizations. And so that's something that's actually Russia is helping clean out, and China is too. Everybody's fed up with them. And America, if they were more awake, they would be fed up with them too. The sad thing is, in the polls, the ones that, if you can believe any of them, most Americans are not awake. That's been so numbed down and dumbed down, and nutrition and everything else, and the fluoride, and you name it, they've bombarded us with it. And so it's really time to make a change about that, and to really bring this possibility of everything to you, to the future generations that are going to be coming, to your grandchildren, to be a witness to them, to be a witness to your friends and family. And it might be a little strange to talk about it to friends, but hey, that's why I wanted to introduce the plants, because it makes it kind of like relatable. You look at that extra growth that they got because of the electricity, and you're going to get that extra growth and healing because of using it yourself. So aloha, and it's been great. I'm going to stop the broadcast now. You have a great month. And next month, we're going to be talking about, again, the 7 healing secrets of electricity. And I'll be introducing the next secret, and also be bringing up different topics there. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about the research around the plants. And if you've got other topics you'd like me to bring up, that's great. And if not, I'm glad you made it through this long, and I hope this has been of really good value to you, because one of the things I've noticed is that I've created a lot of videos and I put a lot of stuff online, and a lot of people don't even thank me for it. It's just like a like button on YouTube, or it's like subscribe button. Why that is, I don't know, but I'm getting a little pissed off by it, because I am creating absolutely stellar results, and I'm giving you stellar information that nobody else in this field gives. It's like I don't hide anything. I tell you the truth as I know it, and from my experience and my background as I know it. And it's like, at least you could thank me for it, huh? It's been decades of work. So aloha. I'll leave that with you.